now we welcome Imam Abdullah Noor to the front.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That means peace be upon you all and Ramadan Mubarak. On behalf of As-Sunnah Islamic Center, my name is Imam Abdullah Noor. I would like to warmly welcome everyone have tonight. It's a blessing for us to open our mosque and bring together community leaders, neighbor, and the public officials, those standing and sitting in the front of us. As we know, we are in holy month of Ramadan. We are grateful that you took the time to be with us. I wanted to explain the little explanation, the Ramadan. I think everybody in here, he knows the meaning of the Ramadan, including our officers. The Ramadan is a month that teaches us many important lessons. Tonight, I would like to briefly share two lessons that are especially meaningful for our community. The first lesson is a safety and a caring for one another. That we can get the lesson, the Ramadan. In Islam, protecting life and supporting those in need is a great responsibility over the best several months. Some families in our community experienced fear and uncertainty due to immigration enforcement actions. Moments like this remind us that we must stand together and care for those who are struggling the few months that we passed. And really, I don't want to forget, I wanted to thank us, speaking on behalf of the mosque and the Somali community in general, the people of the Minnesota, especially the Twin Cities and their surrounding areas, for their support and sharing in the many hardships that we especially targeted at immigrants people, including illegal immigrants, some of whom were born in here, in this country. It was a dark history that this country under the United States went through. But we will never forget how they stood by us, the American people, especially this city and this state in Minnesota, sympathized with us and shared with us and felt our pain and gave us the most what they can to stand with us. And some of them, they precious and things we can give ourselves, which is our lives. So we thank the Minnesota people, and we don't forget the stand that they stand with us. What happened the few months that we passed. And I hope and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never come back that. The second lesson of Ramadan is unity. Ramadan reminds us that we are stronger when we come together. This gathering tonight is a beautiful example of that spirit. People from different backgrounds, faith, and different institutions have come together to talk, listen, and understand one another. That is a big opportunity. And that's what we learn the Minnesota community and the people of Minnesota. Before my conclusion, I will also like to share one more important, and that I like to understand every person to present here. Our mosque and community center, As-Sunnah Islamic Center, work every day to serve our neighborhood. We support the families, mentor young people, and help connect people to resources when they need assistance. We believe that strong communities are built when we invest in our youth and support our families. We know that challenges such as youth, violence, crime, prevention, unemployment, and the need for stronger after-school programs affect many families in our communities. These are issues that require all of us to work together. Our center has been doing some of this work already, but we believe there is an opportunity to expand this service through partnership with our city and county leaders or county leaders. When community, institution, and public officials work together, we can reach more families and we can reach our goals. Support more young people and build safer and stronger neighborhoods. So tonight is not only about conversation, it is also about thinking together about solution and how we can work together and how we can help each other. How can we work together to support youth, create employment opportunities, and to know what they need our community. We welcome all the ideas and everybody his opinion to reach our goal. Thank you all again for being here tonight. May Allah bless you and accept our fasting prayers and good deeds during this blessed month. Ramadan Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Imam Abdullahi, for that beautiful speech. Now we are going to welcome Dr. Abdurrahman on the SALT co-chair.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdurrahman Abdulle, and it's truly an honor and privilege to be here with all of you tonight during this blessed month of Ramadan. Ramadan is a time of reflection, compassion, patience, and renewal. It reminds us to slow down, to look inward, and to strengthen the bonds between our families, our neighbors, and our communities. Before I continue, I would like to sincerely thank Imam Abdullahi Noor, the Imam of As-Sunnah Islamic Center here in St. Paul, for helping make this gathering possible by opening the space for us tonight, creating places where people can come together, sit face to face, talk openly, and build relationships is one of the most powerful ways to strengthen a community. Later, the Imam already shared this spiritual reminder with us. We truly appreciate his leadership and guidance. Tonight, we are joined by respected community leaders as well, faith leaders, business leaders, and public officials. All of us are here because we share something important, a commitment to building a stronger and more unified Minnesota. I would like to begin by recognizing the community leaders sitting around this table, Imam Yusuf and others. Many of you have worked tirelessly for years, supporting families, mentoring young people, helping small businesses grow, and strengthening the fabric of our neighborhoods. Your work often happens quietly without recognition, but it is the heartbeat of our communities. Without your dedication, sacrifice, and leadership, our community would not be where it's today. We are also honored to welcome our distinguished public officials who have joined us this evening, including St. Paul City Council President Rebecca. President Rebecca has shown strong leadership and meaningful support during the difficult times our community has recently faced. Her willingness to listen, engage, and stand with the immigrant community helped make conversations like the ones we are having tonight possible. We're also pleased to be joined by Commissioner Ramsey County Commissioner Mia, and then Hennepin County Commissioner Kevin. We are also very thankful of our law enforcement officials who are here tonight. We are deeply grateful for the support many of you showed our community during challenging moments. Your presence here tonight sends a powerful message. It shows that dialogue matters, that partnership matters, and that trust between communities and public institutions is essential for building a stronger and more united Minnesota. For immigrants and refugees, people who came to this country seeking safety, opportunity, and a better future for their children, experiences like the ones we had last 3 months can leave deep emotional scars. When children see fear and uncertainty around them, those memories can stay with them for years. It's a generational trauma. But at the same time, we want to say something very clearly, that tonight, Minnesota is our home. We live here, we work here, we raise our families here. Our children are growing up here. Because of that, we care deeply about the future of our state. We want to contribute to build and to be partners in making Minnesota stronger, safer, and more united. That's why gatherings like this tonight matter. Healing and trust do not happen automatically. They grow through conversations, through listening, and through continued engagement between communities and public institutions. The purpose of tonight's gathering is simple but meaningful. We are here to build relationships, to listen one another, to strengthen partnerships, and through this roundtable conversation, we want to ask an important question together, and that is, how can we work together to better serve our communities and to build a stronger future for everyone who calls Minnesota home? Ramadan teaches us that even in difficult moments, we must choose compassion over division, understanding over fear, and unity over conflicts. It reminds us that we all share a responsibility to care for one another. Like the Imam said, tonight's gathering reflects those values. As we continue this evening, we'll have a short roundtable conversation with our honored public officials and community leaders. We hope this will be a thoughtful discussion centered around a few guiding questions about trust, safety, economic opportunity, and how we can continue building long-term partnerships together. Thank you all again for being here tonight. Ramadan Mubarak.
Thank you, Dr. Abdurrahman, for that speech. Now we're going to welcome the East African community leader, Sister Muna, to the front.
All right. Thank you so much. Happy Ramadan, everybody. I'm not really well-spoken person, but I'll try my best. I will really sending my sincere appreciation to you guys for the opportunity to come to our community and listen to our community. Whatever I would love to say, our brother Abdurrahman and the Imam has already said. I would love to send you again my sincere appreciation for the opportunity to come to the community. My name is Muna. I work with the Somali community very much in this neighborhood, and I'm very much connected to this Masjid and also other masjids as well. I have been advocating for the East African community past couple of years, especially the community in Washington County area. It is true that there has been a lot of impact in our community, and that needs to be addressed. And we have come so long, and we're hoping for better future, and also restoration for the impacts that have been in our community. So there is still some ongoing ICE activity in our neighborhoods that we are keep looking close and addressing these issues to our city officials and our leaderships. And I'm not going to take too much time to speak about what happened. We all are aware of what happened. And for you guys to come to this space is uplifting for our community, and that is really much appreciated. And some uncertainty like this, for you to be here and listening the community voice means so much to us, and really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And my name is Yusuf Abdulle. I am the Executive Director of Islamic Association of North America. It is 39 Islamic centers, including this center as a member of it. I've met Rebecca many times now, so we're very familiar. Thank you so much again for coming. We met many times, and this is one of the times that we always meet. I would like, as Dr. Abdurrahman said, and the Imam, I'm kind of like an informal person. I don't like to be formal, usually. And for that informal, I would like the conversation to be very natural, spontaneous. People talk about things. And because we know, as our sister said, we know what happened. And we are dealing with the aftermath, whether it's fear, economic depravity, community that is being, battered by the federal government, name calling, and all of that. We're dealing in the aftermath. So it is a good time to talk about the aftermath and what we can do. And especially in this time of Ramadan. And, it was really very good that ICE left right before the start of Ramadan. Because I don't know how the Ramadan would be if ICE was here, and how people would be able to come to the mosque and pray, and life come back to normal. And I don't know how that would be, but thank God we are now today, and praying, fasting, coming together, family time, and the ICE men who are masked, gun-toting, are not here. This is really something to celebrate. The second thing is, which is very important, is if ICE left, but they left a devastation behind. And that devastation is very apparent. If some of us are still working, going to work, fine, there are people who are still home because they lost their jobs. There is no way you can keep a job by being absent for 3-4 weeks or a month. So they left jobs. When they left jobs, they lost income. And when they lost income, they lose in their houses, their places that they were staying. And people who are dependent on them also cannot be dependent on them anymore. So the economic effect of this community is really immense and big. And it's something that we need to discuss. And that discussion comes, maybe solutions will come out of it. It's not only about that. I'm going to conclude. As I said, I don't like to be formal. I will add another one, which is still needs assessment. Last week, we met with Mayor Jacob Fry, and he told us that the needs assessment that was done by the city of Minneapolis says that over 200 million, the cost of ICE to our economy was over 200 million. But that's only the city of Minneapolis, though. It's not St. Paul, it's not other cities, it's not the state. That is economic. But when you talk about psychological effects that, ICE had on our children, in Arabic we say حدث عنها ولا حرج, which means talk about it endlessly, right? This is an area that nobody did any assessment yet. And it's something that we need to really look into it very hard, state-wise, county-wise, county area or county-wide, or city, administration and things like that. The reason is, from two angles. I would like to say it from two angles, and I want you to understand where I'm coming from. One is people who were old enough to witness the Somali civil war, right? And now all of a sudden, men who are with guns masked up coming to them, right? What kind of a trauma that can bring to their lives again. And that's why some of our elders, even if they were citizens, although they are citizens, they prefer to stay home because they don't want to deal with that gun-toting men that they dealt with in Africa here again. That is one thing to look into. The other thing is to look into it, which is very important, and I would like our officials to take a note on, is the effect that had on the children as well. Our children who are born here are told again, by words and by action, you're not like anyone else and you're not American, right? So what does that mean to them? How would that affect them? All of a sudden, you don't belong here. That needs study. And the final thing I wanted to conclude with is, I've been here in this country 25 years. And I've never heard of a community that was targeted by name by the President of the United States, the federal government. And then a whole army of 3,000 plus sent to them. Let's be very clear about that. The ICE was sent here to crack down on the Somali community. Nothing else, right? So, since the Trail of the Tears, you probably know about that. Since that time, I tried to find any community that was targeted by the federal government in this magnitude and level, and I couldn't find. The Japanese accepted the Japanese entrapment camps. That's the only thing that could have resembled to this. So we need to talk about that. And we need to document it. We need to write it, document it, to talk about it. People should pay a price for this. Because if it happened today to the Somali community, it's going to happen to any other community. Tomorrow and day after. And that is how a country becomes a disintegrated country. So, thank you so much again for coming. Rebecca, I know I'm telling you every day, every meeting I'm telling you the same thing. And I'm sorry for that. But it is the thing that we cannot, be silent about. And I hope the community shares, their perspectives. Everyone has a story. I have personal stories to tell. I do. Many personal stories to tell. So, and what can we do about that? The economic issue, the psychological issues. What can we do about that at the city level, county level, state level, and definitely country level? The country should have this discussion, seriously in the Congress. I want this case to be taken to Congress and hearings to be held. I'm just waiting for 2026, November 2026. Because the reason is I'm in the house of God, Allah. I don't want to talk about politics. But we want accountability. We want accountability. This cannot go unnoticed. there has to be people who are responsible of this, taken to court, and then we will all be, all of us, the witnesses, right? We'll be the witnesses. So thank you so much again, and back to you. Sorry, I took too long.
Well, thank you, okay.
Thank you, Imam Yusuf, for that speech. Now I will give the microphone to Commissioner Mia.
Commissioner Mia will have to leave at 6 p.m. So we wanted other community leaders to speak first, and then we were going to let our elected officials and other officials to take on the stage. But because she is leaving, we wanted her to really come first. And then Commissioner Mia is one of the Ramsey County commissioners. She will talk more about herself. And then, is this the first term or second term serving?
First term.
First term serving. So I'll let her talk about herself. And then we want all of our elected officials to really talk about cohesion is surrounding around trust and healing, safety and dignity and opportunity and the future. How those look like in the upcoming 5, 10, 7 years. And then how can we really work together as a community and then the elected officials as well. Because they work for us, we have to have a good relationship. Yeah.
Hello. Thank you so much, Imam, for giving us the opportunity to be here and to be in community during this holy month. It is truly a privilege and honor to be here with you all. And also, to the co-chair, Abdi, for hosting this and making this possible, and with so many of our community leaders who are in this space. I'm Ramsey County Commissioner Mai Chong. I represent the east side of St. Paul. I'm the first Asian to serve on the Ramsey County board in our entire history. Yeah, of Ramsey County. Yeah. And I would say it's been a great privilege and honor at the county. We are the ones who serve our most vulnerable community members, people who need food support, people who need housing assistance, people who don't have housing. So it is with great honor to be able to make sure that the services that we deliver actually reaches our most vulnerable communities. In addition to that, I hear a lot about, just the need for mentoring our young people, nourishing and supporting the young minds of our people because they are our future. And then also helping parents, our businesses, making sure that we have opportunities that reach everyone. And I will tell you all that you are all here because your ancestors led you here too. My ancestors also led me here, and we are on stolen land of indigenous peoples. And so when they say that there are illegal immigrants here, I believe we don't have illegal immigrants. We have people here on this land, and it is only because the United States made up rules about who belongs and who doesn't. And so I believe that you are all my neighbors, all my brothers and sisters, and here connected, and my success is very dependent upon your success. And your success is dependent on mine too. So as someone who has a history of being from a Hmong community, we have also been targeted, but targeted in different ways too, right? And so I deeply feel that effect as well. And I just want you to know that you are my neighbor, and I will do everything that I can to protect you too. With the healing that we need, it's also, I'm glad that we're talking about the trauma, because many times in our communities, we don't even talk about trauma or about mental health. At Ramsey County, we started pivoting funds to help support our young people because we know that navigating systems are very complex, and we also need to make sure that parents know how to support our young people as well. So we have dollars in that way. We have moved dollars to support people who are facing eviction and also people who have been impacted by this. And we also know that right now people do not trust the government. So many times people will just see the government or see the county, see the city, or even our police department as an entity that they do not trust. So I want to let folks know that because of that, we are deeply dependent upon our community partners. We need community organizations, community leaders to also be connecting with us so that we know the best way to be able to help support the organizations, because organizations are the ones who are going to be able to get the resources out into the ground, into the community. So I see a lot of opportunities for that. I also want to say that going back to when I said about our ancestors bringing us here, we survive and we are here today because we depended on one another. We must continue on that, and that requires both our culture, our families, and supporting our neighbors. And so I as a first generation Hmong American, I grew up, we didn't have community centers that we could call our own. We weren't even encouraged to learn our language. So as a first generation Hmong American, I would say these are things that are actually will help you thrive and be resilient, because we have seen in the Hmong community that we came in 50 years ago, that our first and second generation were successful because they had a cultural identity and language, and that they knew where they come from. But then in our second and third generation, they were not succeeding as much. So I want to say that it's a lesson that we learn, that it is our strength comes from our history, from our language, our culture, our religion. That these are definitely items to hold on to, and that they are strengths. And I just want to thank you all for continuing to retain your language and your culture, your religion. These are strengths, and this is what's going to add to our community, and this is what's going to make our community stronger. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Mia, for that speech. Now I will welcome community leader Suleiman Ummah.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks, Sheikh Abdullahi Nur, for inviting us here today. I don't know what to say, really. Everyone say already what I have to say, but I'm here saying thank you so much for being here today, listening our community. Yes, definitely this community go through a lot, specifically Somalis. I love what Sheikh Yusuf said, because that's the truth. I know a lot of people who are endorsed because of they are working, and they're no longer working because of ICE. And they were endorsed and no one knew them, really. So this is a painful story this time. But I want to say only one word. And my word goes to the Minnesotan. Thank you, and thank you so much for standing with us too. Rene Good, Alex Pretty died because of us. They were protecting us. They were against ICE, who tried to invade or tried to attack Somalis. But now I'm here saying today, thank you, Minnesotan, as a good, really, specifically I can say also white people, because I remember the coldest day when I got to Minneapolis, thousands of Minnesotan came here to support us and say, no, Somalia, our neighbors, Somalia, our brothers, Somalia, our community member. So thank you so much. But frankly speaking, this community went straight a lot. Still, they are traumatized. I know a lot of even Somali American citizens who don't want to go outside because they scare ICE to drag them on the road. ICE attacks them, and ICE specifically, when they see Somali, go to them and ask them, what's your identification? It was shame. I remember when I was in Kenya 30 years ago. I'm not that old though. I was big that time. 30 years ago, there's a word used to say Kenyan people to the Somalis. toa kito kidogo, meaning that if you are Somali from Somalia in Kenya, if the Kenyan police catches you, they will arrest you. Otherwise, you have to pay some money. But right now, when I came to America, American citizen, I seen a lot of Somali American citizens carrying their passport. It was shame to the President of the United States, but thank you, Minnesotan, and I just finished that way. Thank you so much, really.
I will welcome Sister Saciido Shaie from Ummah Vision. She is the founder of Ummah Vision.
Assalamu alaikum. Okay, sorry. Assalamu alaikum. It's an honor to be here in this beautiful room amongst many of my friends, community leaders, and elected officials. You know, coming together as a community, especially the month of Ramadan, a month of unity, reflection, empathy, and gratitude. It's just beautiful. And I want to say thank you for coming all together. My name is Saciido Shaie, and I'm one of the co-hosts of this beautiful gathering. You know, for the last couple of weeks, or I would say months, we were connecting with our elected officials because, you know, especially the experience we had with what happened last couple of weeks, last couple of months with ICE and all this. I felt that there was a big gap and big disconnection in terms of the community and our elected officials. And so coming together and kind of like, you know, learning from each other and understanding from the community issue and where we're coming from as a community is you know, is one of the ways that we can go ahead and you know, work together. Because at the end of the day, our issues is your issues. And, you know, not just we elect you, but we trust you. And we trust you with our issues, and having you at that table speaking on behalf of us. If you're not familiar with our issues, if you're not familiar with who we are and what we're going through, then that is a gap for you. And so, you know, I just want to say thank you for coming. I want to say that, you know, we're going to continue having, you know, events like this and bringing our elected officials, bringing our leaders, not only you, even our teachers, to understand what our kids are going through. So I just want to say thank you, and thank you for coming. My friend Anderson, Kevin Anderson, drive all the way from where, Plymouth, right? Maple Grove, yeah, all the way from Maple Grove. And, you know, he was like, I will definitely come after my meetings. Sister Rina Moran, also Ramsey County Commissioner. I was just communicating with her. She was supposed to be here right now, but she has something cannot come up, so she's definitely will be here in our next events. Thank you for having us, and thank you for especially hosting us at this beautiful mosque, my friend, Dr. Abu Fadli, Abu Abdullahi. Thank you so much. And Hiddik and all of you. By the way, this is my beautiful daughter. You know, it's just seeing her taking that footsteps to organize and kind of like communicate with the community. This is beautiful, and I want to say thank you so much, Oyo.
Yeah, thank you so much. Kevin, who was?
He's the Hennepin County Commissioner.
Oh,
He came all the way last
still
week.
have the questions for him.
You do have questions for him.
Okay.
He wasn't there last.
Thank you for coming. I have a ton of questions for you.
There's another one.
We can have coffee and we can talk.
There is one coming on the 19th with Hennepin County Commissioners.
Okay, that's great.
So we can go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Saciido Shaie, for that speech. Now we will welcome Brother Abdul Majid, who is a business owner and he's a community leader at this masjid as well.
بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum first of all, and thank you so much for everyone who came to our masjid today to stand with our community. You're looking at one of the mosques or one of the community centers that have been the victim of the what's so-called community immigration enforcement but turned out to be just community terrorizing event. This mosque was one of the locations that have been raided, even though they were not unable to get in 2 times. And by the way, we have elders next door. It's adult care, mothers and fathers who are unable to speak English. But just by seeing a masked man going into their buildings and asking and demanding them, one of the mothers specifically demanding for a passport, was one of the most terrifying situations. I've been a director of this mosque for about a couple of years, and I've been in this area for 6 years owning a logistics business, but I've never seen that kind of terrifying reaction from their faces. So what you're looking at right now, it's a community that really appreciates you. It's a community that says, thank you so much for coming. And what you're looking at right now is it delivers a message. And that message is, we stand with you. And that's what Minnesota did. That is what Minnesota did. And going forward, our community really requires much more than events like this. One-on-one conversation, as Sheikh Yusuf said, psychological support. Imagine, I went to high school here, I grew up here, and I've never had to carry any sort of documentation, any sort of ID to identify myself. I thought I was one of everyone. But at the end, I figured I wasn't because of Donald Trump. So that is not what we grew up to know. We grew up to know that we were part of everybody. We were part of the crowd. But specifically being selected for the language that you speak, for the color that you have, was one of the most terrifying situations I think this generation had to face. And moving forward, especially my request is for the law enforcement at this time of the year specifically, and when we have a Ramadan, when we have an event like this, and especially when our community just went through what we went through, we need your support. We need your help. I manage over 80 mosques, sending safety alerts and sending a safety awareness messages. I was just sending right now one regarding the issue in Detroit, Michigan that we know, and our support and our prayer are with those community as well. But this is the time the communities are being labeled, much more than ICE and what we went through. Now is even more a safety concern because of what's going on internationally. So now every location of a prayer location or a community worship locations, they require much more assistance. So what we need is your support. We need your patrolling. We need you to show up. With you just being here, wearing that beautiful uniform, it delivers a message to anyone that have a bad, ill intention. And it says we stand with the community despite their culture, despite their language, despite their religion. That's what it says, and we need you here. We need you at our community centers, and we hope to see you more. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Brother Abdul for that speech. Now we will welcome the Brother Sheeny he's on the board of the Masjid as well.
Yeah, hello. I am one of the board members and I live in this neighborhood. My name is Mahmoud Aden. So I guess that ICE raid and the 2 months were discussed a lot. But I want to add, one morning they held me at gunpoint here. It was the second Wednesday of February, yeah. They just, as we prayed at 7, 3 of us was the last ones to leave. About 20 of them we prayed here at early morning. And I understood when they draw their guns. I said, what are you doing? Are you robbing me? I had to play them because I understood who they are. Because we were following the news, right? Are you robbing me, sir? Are you robbing me? No, I'm not robbing. I'm federal agent. What? Federal agent? What's that federal agent? I had to play them. And I said, are you police? No. Because police, they have good face. They have face. You can see their face. They have a badge. What are you? And then I said, he said, go in your car and show me your hand is on steering. Or just don't move your hands. They're scared, because that's why they have guns. They're scared and hiding the faces. So I said, I'll sit in my car. I have nothing to answer because I know police, they are nice. They talk to us nicely. They always tell you the reason they stopped you. we can complain because they have badge. We get their names. I can't talk to you, I said. I have no reason to talk to you. I heard in the news and everywhere. No reason, unless you have a warrant that says, you need me. And he said, yes, you have to tell me if you are a citizen or not. I said, I'm not. You're just wasting your time. So my friend, there's 3 others, they have shown some citizenship proof or green card. So they left. I said, you will stay here all day. I'm so glad I said I have good camera view here. You can't do me anything. And some people were at the street whistling at 7:05. Let him go, let him go. And I said, you see that community? Documenting whatever you do to me. I'm scared actually because you have gun, you are ice, you are dangerous. I don't want to face you, I don't want to touch you. No, I'm not dangerous. And then they had to run my plate. So it was my car. So they went back in my car and they called it somewhere and they came, he's a C, he's a C. I'm not being a citizen, so it's kind of, they came to me and said, are you an owner? I said, why do I have to answer? Maybe I stole, but only police can stop me even, you are federal. So I actually played. So in a way now, as I remember, because I was following the news a lot. And this happens always in every 100 years or so. Communities are like, they will face this. Even some communities that you can't think of. Germans were one time in this country. People think only minorities, but every community as they come, they face this kind of systemic. It comes from government, not the people. People will not harm to you. Because the good thing is you can be armed in your home and defend yourself in this country. So people are not harming to you. It's the government system that just have to otherize people and make business or some whatever political reason they have. So actually, it was kind of healing for me playing them. Because if I were like just my natural way, maybe I'll do something. But it was healing for me because right from the start, yes, right off the bat, I said, "Hey, okay, I know what to do." And I said to them, "I have good camera." Even in my car, one guy opening my car in the front seat, and I said, "Hey, I have camera here." And he closed the car. He came back to the other guy. So they know if you know the laws, they are very careful. And if they're followed because of the streets, because of the protesters, people who were helping and following. I don't know how, I didn't talk to them later on, but how do they find that they will be here at 7? And the next day, even they came at 11. I was not here at 11. So when they came next day. So later on, I heard they were living in a hotel near this area. So actually, it was unbelievable. If I were not, if I was out of town, I wouldn't believe this happened. But seeing and following, that was enough. I couldn't believe it. Like the whole world knows Somali now because of that ordeal. Because they just had like manufacturers, but they harmed other communities. Even the Hmong, you have seen the guy with boxing. Other communities, it was just Somali, just superficially, but they were harming other people too. So they didn't say immigrants. Yeah. So I don't know what else I can. We hope that will never come back again because many people are still scared. Even I have some family members saying like, they're still here. Be careful, don't be away in the evening. They're still here. So I don't know what to add. Thank you. And I hope, this will, lead us to some solutions in the future. Yeah, absolutely.
Brother Shaie is one of the board of the Masjid, and also he's interpret to the translation is a community in hospitals and everywhere, and also schools. Also, he's a teacher in Century College, the culturist teachers, translation and everything. So he knows more information about the inside the community and inside the government.
Thank you, Brother Sheena and Imam Abdullahi. Now we will give the mic to Brother Dr. Abdurrahman as well.
Thanks everyone for being part of this conversation tonight. I think as a community members and as the community here, we have done talking. We have shared with you our stories and our experiences. I will give the mic to Imam Yusuf, and then Imam Yusuf will be the MC for the night. We'll have some questions for our elected officials who are here. I have already given them the questions. And then as other questions come by from the audience or even from Imam Yusuf, we will ask you that.
The questions will be kind of like direct, and you can all answer. You can also introduce yourself once you answer in the question, what do you do? You can add your opinions to it. But these are simple, straightforward questions mostly. The first question is, and Megan, thank you so much for coming as well. I was expecting you to be sitting there, but you just blended in the crowd. No, it's okay, it's okay. I just caught my eyes. So, this question is about trust and healing. Over the past several months, many immigrant families experienced fear, uncertainty that affected their sense of safety and belonging. What steps can communities and public institutions take together to rebuild trust? As Sheena was saying, they stopped me here at the parking lot. Many people, especially elders, cannot differentiate between the regular police and ICE, unless maybe the mask, beside the mask. Both of them have guns. They are, they dress up, they have, their gears. So how to strengthen and rebuild trust and ensure that all residents feel respected, heard, and included in the future of our state and the city as well. That's the first question. I'll come back for the second and third.
Well, first of all, Ramadan Mubarak to everybody. Thank you so much to the imams for having us here in the Masjid. Thank you so much, Dr. Abdi, for coordinating. I am Jewish, and we have a lot of fast days throughout the year. And I can tell you that at this time of day, on one of my fast days, I would not be coming to a community meeting and sitting up and smiling and having a conversation with my elected officials. So I am very grateful, and I am very impressed that you are all taking the time to be here on a day that can be very hard. Imam Yusuf, I think you said it very well. You said you apologized for it, but I don't think you should ever apologize. We have to say these things 1,000 times. We have to say these things over and over, because the first step to building trust, to your question, is to talk about what happened and not to pretend either it didn't happen or it's done, right? Because we know, as you've said, this is still happening. I think the second step is we need to meet people's basic needs. The pyramid of needs, right? The very first, the bottom one is your basic needs, your Maslow's pyramid of needs. So right now, everyone is thinking about one of those needs, which is food, right? If you don't have food, it's hard to do anything else. If you don't have housing, it's hard to do anything else. If you don't have your basic needs, if you're not warm, you can't do anything else. So government has been the problem for the last 3 months, and some people might say a lot longer than that. As government leaders, I think we need to be part of the solution first to help with those basic needs. So that's why on the city council, we are adding money for rent. We are trying to make it longer so that you have more time to pay rent before an eviction. We are trying to do things to make it easier to find assistance if you are a business owner. Ramsey County, because we heard from so many residents and business owners, is delaying how long your time to pay your property taxes. So you can pay late with no fee. So government is trying to do things like that to make the basics easier. And then I think the long-term building of trust is doing work together on the needs that you've expressed and others have expressed. We need to actually show that we can work together and we can get things done. And for example, I think a lot of people have brought up the youth, the young people, kids in our community. I'm a former teacher. I'm a mom of 2 young boys. I think we should start there. I think we can start with What are the after-school programs we can add? What are the ways in which we're taking care of kids who aren't in school or don't want to go back to school or aren't trusting our institutions? What are the ways we're helping people with childcare? Childcare is so expensive. How are we helping families with young children? So there's a lot we can do just in that way alone. And I think the more we work together and we show progress, the more we rebuild that trust. And I'll close by saying, we have to keep doing this. This is where it starts. This is where the ideas come from. This is where the solutions come from. And just like Ramadan reminds us of the need to be united, I think what we just have gone through and what we're going through has shown us that we need to be united. That's what brought us together. That's what made me meet Dr. Abdi, and that's what's gotten these things going. And the best decision we ever made, I think, Imam and Dr. Abdi, was to have the community talk first, because you don't need to hear from us first. We need to keep that format going, but we need to keep this going.
Ramadan Mubarak, thank you so much for inviting me and including me in your community tonight. And I really appreciate the comments that have been made so far, and I think especially your point, letting community talk first is so important, because I don't come to the last few months with the experience that you do. And it is so important for me to hear from people who are impacted in a different way and more direct way as I go through the work of trying to represent my communities on the Hennepin County Board, but in public life, right? Commissioner Chong said that talked about the role that counties play. You mentioned the incredible work that Ramsey County and the city of St. Paul is doing to help community members meet the moment that they find themselves in. And I think that is what we are also trying to do. We've taken very similar steps in Hennepin County and in Minneapolis and in some of the surrounding suburbs of delaying late fees. We're trying to make sure that we're working with the business communities to, if there are any license fees that are delayed, that we're not charging late fees on any of those, so that the business communities can make sure that they are able to operate. We're also trying to partner with Ramsey County to provide resources to our business communities to find resources and connect to resources, whether it's legal or financial, so that they can meet the challenges that are not just right now that are happening, but the ripple effects that we will be experiencing into the future. We need to make sure that we are in continuous communication and community with each other to find out where those challenges exist for our families, for our leaders, for business, for children, so that we can find better ways to meet those barriers and overcome them together. You talk about trust, and I think we are in a moment right now in government of just a huge trust deficit. We, at the local level, are trying to overcome the broken trust that the national level has thrust on us at this moment. And we are going to make it through by having these conversations either with a microphone or without a microphone, over a cup of coffee, during a day of fasting, or outside of the month of Ramadan, right? This moment is an important moment, but it can't be the end. It needs to continue, and I think it is through that continuation of building community and staying in community, that is how trust is built and maintained. And I don't know any other way to do that than to continue this. And we need to make sure that as we are continuing this conversation, that when we say we are going to do something, that we do it. And if we don't do it, that we hear from you. because we are always going to be pulled in 5 different directions, and we are all fallible humans. And so sometimes even the best intentions can lead to failed policies, failed implementation, and we need to be held accountable for that. And so I invite everybody to continue to have that communication, to build the community with each of us, and to hold us accountable when we don't deliver on the things that we say we want to. We will try, but I think that's going to be a really important ingredient in this. So.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
Thank you. I am Lynette Cherry. I am the commander for the Eastern District. I oversee the investigators that investigate property crimes. I work under District Chief Boldwan here. I want to say thank you so much for inviting us here. We believe it's important for law enforcement to have a great relationship with you, as well as with our leaders. What we do want to emphasize is, as the police department, we have been working very hard. I know that I've been a police officer for about 27 years, and at least 15 years of those, I have attended community engagement activities with the Somali community, and we want to ensure we still have that trust and accountability. It's unfortunate that because of ICE, some of that trust has disintegrated, but we want to rebuild that and work to ensure that we still have your trust, and emphasize that some of the things that differentiate us from ICE, obviously we do not enforce immigration, but we are in uniform. We do identify ourselves by our name and badge number. Our vehicles are identified with the badge or St. Paul Police, something that shows that we are local police. We don't wear masks unless, of course, it's cold out here like this, and we are trying to stay warm. And the only unit that we have that wears any kind of camouflage is our SWAT team, and often sometimes get misrepresented, and people will be blowing a whistle or something like that, and they're like, no, we're not enforcing immigration, we are doing a warrant, and has nothing to do with any kind of immigration. So hopefully that is, being adhered to out in the community. Also, whatever concerns that you guys have, we want to make sure that people are still calling 911. We need good witnesses. We need a victim to come forward. When I worked in our community engagement division, I signed U visas. We would pull up police reports and sign those to ensure that you can move to the next level for immigration to be able to stay legally in this country as a crime victim. And we'd always assist with those. We need to make sure that we continue to have a relationship, and we want to invite everyone to our community meetings, but as well, we want to attend your meetings and be out in the community. We have civilian academies, which is helpful for people to understand the police department. So we need people on the PCR committee, which oversees accountability for the police. And it's important for everyone to be involved.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Got it. Thank you, everybody. Well, I'm going to just start off by saying my wonderful investigative commander took most of my answers, so I won't repeat a whole bunch of things, but I'll introduce myself for sure. So my name is Laura Boldwan. I currently serve as the district chief of the Eastern District, which also includes this area and many other parts of the east side of St. Paul. Down on Payne Avenue in Minnehaha is where our district office is located, if everybody's familiar with where we are. And I think that community meeting piece that Commander Cherry talked about is really how we all move forward. The St. Paul Police Department has always taken pride from, the 26 years that I've been here as well. That trust with our community, that relationship with our community has always been the part that we've felt that's how we move forward, right? If we don't have that, we don't have public safety for all. We don't, those relationships and those, if people don't report things, if people don't feel that they can come and call the police, then I think the public safety piece is really, what's the right word, is affected, negatively affected by that. So just know that, we're always here. We'll always identify ourselves. Our officers know that, and our officers really worked hard during this time, especially the last few months of, understanding how this was really impacting the people that they were encountering as well. So you can imagine when they were going to calls, it was, they were very much wanting to tell people, hey, we're here for you. We want to listen to what you have going on. If you want to report something to us, you definitely can do that, and you can call us anytime. So our officers really felt like they wanted to show up for their community even more during these times. So I'll also just touch on the fact that we do have community meetings every month in our Eastern District, so you're always welcome to join us for those meetings. They're on the third Tuesday of every month at 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. at our district office. So you'll see myself, Commander Cherry, our patrol commander, our crime prevention specialist will come to those meetings. So a great way for us to stay connected, talk about things that are happening in our community, and just make sure that we're constantly keeping that communication, which we think is the most important thing. So thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Abdul-Majid is taking a note. He's very good on, attending this. You can probably bring the youth. And this is very important to note that, and for our youth to have a good relation with the police. This is really very important because that issue, and if you have a good relation with the youth, the young ones, that will create that atmosphere of trust and working with you. And, in terms of talking to other youth as well, having a good impact on them. And also Abdul-Majid has a security background. You used to work with TSA?
I now work with also board of the community voices.
Yes, now I'm community voice in St. Paul. For that meeting we met last time, right? Yeah, exactly, yes. So he has that background, and I believe he can contribute a lot in this area. So if you can exchange information would be great. And thank you so much for answering these very good questions in a candid way. I want to, for the second question, it's actually, you answered it already. It's within that, it's within your answer. The third question, or the last one, is immigrant communities. This is about opportunity and future. Immigrant communities contribute to Minnesota in many ways, and we cannot stress enough that. I think a good study has not been done yet of the contribution of immigrant communities in the state of Minnesota. I remember in the election of when Jeff Johnson and Wallace were debating 2018, I think. Jeff Johnson was asked, he was about immigrants, right? And he was asked, are the immigrants a net benefit economically to the state of Minnesota? And he said yes, because he could not deny the numbers. So a lot of immigrant communities contribute to Minnesota in many ways, and through business, workforce participation, civic engagement, and raising the next generation of Minnesota. We all know that. Looking ahead, how can government institutions and community leaders work together to expand opportunity, strengthen economic stability, and ensure that our communities continue to thrive for generations to come? And I'm gonna just add a little bit to that. One of the reasons is that we became a focus as Somalis is because we are civically engaged. We're civically engaged more than any other community in these areas. And that is, why are you in the House? Why are you in the State Senate? Why are you in these many positions? And this is a positive for the state. So what can you do as government, leaders, institutions, to encourage that and to work more with the community to be participating in this for economic stability and civic engagement as well?
So I have two answers to that question, and I'm going to keep it a little bit shorter because I'm very aware that we're the only thing standing between you and you know what. Okay, 18 minutes. I think, first of all, we need to be really clear about the value of our immigrant communities, as you said. So in one of my answers is we need to call out and we need to treat our immigrant communities differently, because you're right. Not just do we benefit from having immigrant communities in the state of Minnesota, the state of Minnesota absolutely depends on our immigrant communities. And I'm not saying that just because I'm sitting in front of you, and I'm not saying that in a metaphorical way. We have had our state demographer, who keeps track of all of the populations of Minnesota, come and speak to our city council year over year. And what she has said is that Minnesota is a net exporter of people. And if you want to know why, you can look outside the window right now. It's March and it's snowing, and a lot of people don't like to live in that, and so they move to the Sun Belt states. They move south, right? So we lose people more than we gain people, and we're not having enough babies to replace the people that we lose to moving, to death, to lots of other things, right? The only reason that Minnesota is not draining people away every single year is because we have our immigrant communities, and because we have historically been a welcoming place for our immigrant communities. And so some folks here were kind enough to say thank you for welcoming us. We need to say thank you to you, because without our immigrant communities, we literally would be losing people, losing our state, losing our wealth every single year. So on the one hand, we need to say that, we need to be very clear about that. But on the other hand, we need to be clear about the fact that the same thing that our immigrant communities need is what everybody needs, and kind of bring everybody together, not drive ourselves apart, because we all need affordable housing. We all need affordable childcare. We all need better transit. You shouldn't have to drive a car to be able to get around, to get to your job, to get to your home, to get to what you want to do. We all need affordable food and healthy food in our communities. We all need an easy way to participate in our government and in our election system. And we all need to be able to have easy access to healthcare, to our government officials, to people who can listen and change things. So I think it's important to talk about the things that we all need, and to focus on the fact that when we do that for one of our communities, we're doing it in a way that we all benefit from that, and we're all lifted up by that. And I think the way that we do that is, again, by first of all having these relationships, because this is what allows the imam to come to me and say, hey, you know what, we really need this rec center opened, or our masjid really needs additional patrols at Ramadan or throughout the year, or we really need that street paved because those potholes are killing us, right? And it's through this kind of dynamic, this kind of thing, not just once, not just twice, but on a regular basis over and over, that we build those relationships so that we know what is needed.
I'm just going to say I don't like going second, because, I mean, how am I supposed to follow? Yes, and I think I touched on this a little bit before. We have a number of things that we are doing, that we are trying to help build economic stability within Hennepin County and within the region, through partnership with our community members, other counties, other cities. All of that is good from our perspective, but like you said, it is our immigrant communities that are keeping Minnesota alive. So thank you. And reiterating here, you belong here. You are Minnesotans. You are Americans, and we benefit by you being a part of us, right? I also just remembered, I don't think I actually introduced myself. I just went into answering questions. So you mentioned Jeff Johnson. He was my predecessor on the Hennepin County Board. And so I represent the western suburbs. My name's Kevin Anderson. Hi. And I represent the western suburbs of Hennepin County. I live in Maple Grove. I was elected in 2020 during a pandemic when the economic stability was in severe doubt. And we didn't know what we were getting into. My background was IT, and I had no idea what I was getting into when it came to government. But I think what I carried with me was an absolute belief that through community and through being a part of community, that we can do things better together. And I have seen that time and time again in Hennepin County, in our local communities, and in partnering with Ramsey County and across the region, that when we start working together to meet community needs, that we are always going to be more successful than if we try to do it alone. And that is true when it comes to transit, when it comes to childcare, when it comes to job opportunities, when it comes to resisting an authoritarian government set on terrorizing our citizens. We will always be better when we come together and stand together as one. And I am so incredibly proud of how Minnesota showed the rest of the world that we will stand together as one, and we won't take that lying down. So when I was contacted initially a few weeks ago to attend, I was in Washington, D.C. What a place to be, let me tell you what. But I was with a number of county officials across the country, and every single one came up to me and said, "You're going through something right now, and I want to thank you for showing us the way." And it wasn't me, it was Minnesota, right? It was your communities, it was our communities showing that we can do this together, and we can stand up and speak up for ourselves and demand our rights. And that's what we need to continue to do. I do not believe for a moment that it is over. We know that this administration is taking actions as we speak to destabilize legal status and legal protection for the Somali community right now. I just read an article about fast-tracking court cases and not allowing people in the Whipple building. This is damaging to our communities, and we need to remain vigilant on behalf of each other. We also know that there are shipments of trucks still coming here, and so we know that they're not done. And so we can't be done, and we won't be done. And so it's my commitment to stand here and to be with you throughout the coming months, as we have been in the past months. And it is going to be challenging, but we will do it together. So thank you.
Thank you so much. So the issue of Kevin, as you said, that issue is really true, that when they left, when the armed men left the streets, the program did not leave. So what they did is they sent letters of appearance and appointments to people who were waiting for their day at the court hearing about their cases. And they did it in a way that is so aggressive that lawyers are overwhelmed. Pro bono lawyers are overwhelmed. You're talking about 90 cases per lawyer within a short time period. So you're right, they did not leave. They just moved the armed men on the streets, and now it is the courts. And these administrative courts, the plan is just to say, hey, you're rejected, and then you have to leave. So it's not that they left. That issue is very true, and thank you so much for answering that. I think we're going to conclude. Rebecca, as you said, you're very aware of the time. And at this time of the day, we get tired. And so again, thank you so much. I'm going to give back to Dr. Abdurrahman to conclude, and and the Imam as well. We really appreciate that you came to us with very good answers, and hopefully this relationship builds up more. And there is one last thing that I want to announce for the community. I will say that this is in Somalia as well, and we're going to have. Unfortunately, I'm traveling. I will not be able to attend because of my travels, but I would love on the 16th of this month, we will have a big gathering at Dar al-Faruq Center in Bloomington, organized by SALT. And we're going to close the chapter of ICE being on the streets. We're melting the ice that day, right? So I want you to come, all of you, inshallah, and share with your friends. You can also please come. There will be many organizations who actually participate. Some of them sponsors, some of them are working with that. Waxaa jirta maalinta 16 bisha maxay ku aadan tahay? Ustaz Abdurrahman, 16 maxay ku aadan tahay? Iman Yasin miya? Isniinta Dar al-Faruq waxaa lagu qaban doonaa xaflad weyn oo loogu mahadnaqayo dadkii nala garab istaagay. Kuna soo xiri doona aan dhihi doono. ICE waa laga kiciyay jidadka. Wixii kale waa dhimin, laakiin jidadka waa laga kiciyay. Marka hala yimaado insha Allah. Ustaz Abdurrahman, what time was that exactly?
From
5:30
to 7. Yeah.
to 7 o'clock. So please come. Saaxiibadina u yeera adinkana imaada. Dr. Abdurrahman, back to you inshallah.
Now, thank you very much. We have about 15 minutes left. So, Imam Yusuf and Council President Rebecca and Kevin, Commissioner Kevin Anderson, and then our law enforcements, I would like to thank you again for coming all the way here. Last 3 months, is like Imam said, we were under attack. Not only immigrant communities, but our country as a whole was under attack. Our constitution was under attack. The First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, all the amendments in the Bill of Rights, 14th Amendments, they were all under attack. And so we were not only saving ourselves, but we're also saving the country. And so with that, it was a united effort, not only us, but every Minnesotan person who lives in the state. We all came together, we all stood up, and then we all fought together. And so because of that, we're going to move forward. And with the momentum and the energy we created, we want to really take advantage of that and work on those on that momentum and reimagine everything, do something differently, build relationships even better now, and then work with our elected and appointed officials, work with our lawmakers, work with our law enforcement, and make sure that our people are protected, our neighborhoods are protected, our state and the country is also protected. The election's coming. We are in the house of God. Allah, we don't want to talk about politics, but November is only a few months away.
In the house of Allah, you can vote.
Yeah, so we're going to vote. We're very active in that. I would like to also give Sister Saciido, who was also part of this, putting together, say a few words, and then we are going to conclude that. The minutes we have left, we can network and talk to each other and get ready for the iftar dinner.
Thank you again. I don't think there's a lot that I want to say. I think everything have been said. I just wanted to say a lot of, I know both Rebecca and my friend Kevin. I don't know a lot about you guys. Thank you for coming. Oftentimes when we see police, it's like there's another mission. There's a lot of, it's like all those uniforms. Those were supposed to be the very uniform that was supposed to protect us. And I know that, you being here is a blessing for you to especially come to a mosque and sit with the community, because at the end of the day, you were in that uniform for us, to protect us. And whenever you feel a threat, that's the last place you call for the last mission. So I just want to say thank you. My name is Saciido Shaie, and I am one of the community members in the Twin Cities. I've been here for a long time, and I serve various councils and commissioners, including the governor's Juvenile Justice Advisory Council. I'm serving the U.S. Global Leadership, the National Coalition of the Juvenile Justice. So I know exactly where you're coming from. Many of the policies that we create is what you, there to not just represent it, but to protect the community. So I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to all of you. There's more events coming. There's one at the 14th, one on 19th, and there's one at the 16th, and we'll definitely reach out to you. I wanted to say, my friend Kevin, thank you for coming all the way. I know you had a lot going on. I know that on the 14th, we will have Mayor of Richfield and others coming to join us, and it's an honor. Thank you so much, and thank you for having all of us.
Thank you for all of this beautiful discussion and every single person who participated. We want to introduce one last person, Brother Barqad, who's also on the board at Masjid As-Sunnah. Please come forward.
Just 1 minute.
Really appreciate everyone for your time, for being here with us tonight. I didn't expect to speak to be the last, but Allah has chosen to be the last to say. That's only the honor to say. First of all, I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Especially, I want to thank the police officers, because these guys, they do tremendous work. Without them, we cannot be here for Tahajjud or Tarawih. We need to give them appreciation for these people. Without them, we are nothing here. We don't feel safe. Beside of that, I will thank the other elected official, Rebecca, City Council in our city, and Scott Anderson Kevin from Maple Grove. That's a long way traffic, but we really appreciate for being with us here tonight. Other than that, I do not have anything to say, but we know we all spoke. Community have been struggling for the last 3 months, and they forced us each one to take their passport all the time. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removed from Christina from being the secretary. We prayed her, and Donald Trump will leave soon too. So thank you very much.
Brother Barqad, it's good speech. I wanted to say again, thank you, all of you. And we are very happy today to stay with us and to debate or to do the conversation what is better, all of us, our country and our community, our safety, everything. I hope we will continue this table, and all the community and the brothers and the sisters also thank you very much. And the time is the time of iftar is very close. Maybe it's 15 minutes left. 10. But the guest, you can start. As Imam, I give you the permission to to start. But I know you respect the others, so maybe it's after 14 minutes we will start and we eat together. So thank you, all of you. We ask Allah Ta'ala to bless us, all of us, and this month is Ramadan month. جزاكم الله خير وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم أجمعين. جزاكم الله خير.